Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the Compx number C8055C346A-4G. This is a cam lock, is what it is, what that long part number is. And let's go over exactly what it is. I have one removed from the packaging. So, just a quick tour of all the pieces. There's probably a dozen here. You'll get the threaded body itself. And the length of this body is represented, or is inferred in the part number itself. You'll then get the cylinder, okay? Two original keys. And that part of the part number, that's C346, that's the key number, or the bitting on the keys. Okay. Has a 90-degree rotation, and the key can be removed in either position. And that's just simply a result of the machining to the inside of the lock itself, the lock cylinder, with these preparations at 12, 6, 9, and 3 o'clock. Okay. So it's going to allow that to rotate. This is what's called a disc or a wafer tumbler lock. There are these, the evidence of those wafers are here. There are 5 of them. This key is going to look like a typical pin tumbler lock in the sense that it has millings on the side of the key, that it has a particular profile, and that it has these cuts. But this is what is indeed a wafer style. And the way that this works is that the wafer itself is basically a rectangular object with a couple of nibs at the top and bottom. And inside of that rectangular object is a rectangular preparation made in it. Now it can have a shoulder or a step at the top, and I'm quite sure this one does. Actually, I don't think it does. And the preparation on the inside of that rectangular object, which is the wafer tumbler, is positioned according to the cut on the key. So the deeper the cut, which means the higher the cut on the key will be, so that when you insert the key, you can bring those tumblers to flush with the body itself. When the key's removed, they're hanging down, and that's what's going to prevent the cylinder from turning. But when that key goes in, and those tumblers become, the top of the wafer tumblers become flush, the key can then rotate. That's how that works. There's going to be a cylinder bezel or collar that will come with. You're going to get 2 tail pieces that will come with this. Okay, that will go onto the back side of the cylinder, and you'll have a straight tail piece or cam. Then you're going to have an offset tail piece, which can be installed in this orientation or in this orientation, depending on your application. You'll notice that in both of the cams, there are 2 small holes. Those holes are for these press-in adapter pieces that will allow you to really get down and tailor the installation, meaning the length of the cylinder body, how thick what you're installing the material through, the length at which the cylinder has to travel to position the cam in the backside so that when you lock the unit, it is making contact with the back of the framework. All conspires to allow you to tailor that as best as possible. You'll have the small screw for holding the cam to the back of the cylinder body. Okay, that screw will go right there and will keep the cylinder from coming out. Before you put your cam on, you'll want to install your collar or your bezel if you're using it. This will come with a wood nut. That's an anti-rotation device. that when you install it, those prongs, there are 2 of them, will keep that from spinning. And then you have the installation nut. That will go on. You'll tighten that down for your installation to be complete, and then you'll bring your cam to the back side of the unit. Okay? That's how everything on this installs. Let's switch, before we do that, I was going to say let's switch to the screen view where we can take a closer look, but let's measure these cams first. From the center of the prep on the back of the cam to the end, looks like it's about 1.5 inches. Okay? That offset unit, from the center down to the end, looks like it's about 1 3/16 inches, and that's going to have an offset of about 3/8 of an inch. Okay? And that offset starts right at about 5/8 of an inch. Okay? Now, let's switch to the screen view where we can take a look at the supporting documentation and the extended description. Now, the part of the part number we haven't described or discussed yet in detail is the 8055. And actually, let's just talk about all of it now. The 8055, that is the fact that this is a cam lock. And the 8055 is directly related to the cylinder length, which is 1 7/16, which means that it has a maximum material thickness of 1 1/8 inch. Okay. The KA means key to like to that 346 key, which is stamped on the key. So that's simple. If you wanted if you wanted 2 locks or a variety of different locks and you wanted them all key to like, be sure to order them with that 346 part of the part number, and they'll come with the same key, 2 keys per lock. The 4G in the part number just means antique brass. Okay, so we got a Compx 1 7/16 lock body length for 1 1/8 inch maximum thickness, key to like to the 346 key in an antique brass finish. Cabinet lock, disc, tumbler, cam lock, antique brass, key to like, 346, cylinder length 1 7/16, sold as each. Okay. Every lock comes with 1 stop washer, which allows the cam to turn 90 degree. There is no stop washer. This will just simply turn 90 degree. Stop washers are included in other types of locks, not this one. This 8055 will only go in 90 degree for your installation. You know, you can obviously, because you can do a key pull, meaning the key can be removed in locked or unlocked positions, you know, you can set that to be clockwise or counterclockwise rotation, given wherever you set the initial position from. Cams include a lipped overlay construction. Okay. A lipped or overlay construction, or flush construction. Okay, so they give you a straight cam that's 1 1/2 inch thick. Then they give you that offset cam that's 1 1/8 inch with 11/32 offset. We said 3/8. For overlay application, the combined thickness of front of frame cannot exceed the cylinder length. To accommodate an overlay construction using a 3/4 front and a 3/4 frame, order the 8053 lock and that specific cam. They're just giving an example, and we're going to show that here, what the lipped overlay means in a moment. Key removable in both locked and unlocked positions. Supplied with 2 keys, trim washer, spur washer, that's what I meant to say earlier, mounting nut, and 2 cams. Unassembled Remove-A-Core versions of this lock are available. That would be looking at the manufacturer's catalog. You can order these keyed any way that you like. If you order them KA, that means key to like. The cylinder length, maximum thickness, antique brass, key number. Okay, now here is a definition of those terms. A lipped overlay, you can use a straight cam for that. If you have an overlay application, you might use that offset. Okay, if you had a flush condition, or an inset, well, they're calling it flush, I would call it inset. You could use that same offset cam. If you have a wood preparation, a wood application, you'll drill a round hole. If you have a metal application, you would not use the spur washer, but you would do what's called a double D prep. And they do make dies for prepping double D preps in, you know, sheet metal filing cabinets. Okay. An overview of what it would look like depending on the cam that you have installed. Now there's a cut sheet up here That's going to allow us to review a table that shows us the different part numbers that you would have based on different cylinder lengths and maximum material thickness and finish. And then, of course, the key number that's down here. So when I look for a cam lock for someone, the first question is always, how thick is the material that you're working with? And that's what really drives what we're dealing with here. 7/64, 5/8, 7/8, inch and an eighth. The cylinder length is then going to be derived from that maximum material requirement. Select your finish that you like. Okay? Select any key number that you like, and then you're going to get to the part number that you would need to order. And these exact part numbers would be simply populated back into our site. And that's how you would go about purchasing the material. Everything here is just a duplicate of what we've already discussed. Now, there is a link here to the manufacturer's page, and that's handy because it will allow you to review not only all of the Compx products that we sell, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the product catalog. Now, we know that we're dealing with an 8055. So let's copy that, open up that product catalog, and then we'll do a search or a find function on your keyboard. Control F, 8055, and we'll sure find where it exists. There's a very similar table to the one we just showed you. The reason for showing you the product catalog is because there is additional helpful information in here that I'd like to point out. First of all, it will show you what the part number is for the key blank. You might want to order key blanks so that you can cut more keys. If you are in charge of maintaining an installation of several different filing cabinets, you'll want to know what that key number is from the manufacturer, the part number for the key blank, so that you can have duplicate keys made, of course, which we can supply you as well. Okay. Information from the factory originally is listed here. I said that you can set that in any orientation that you like. For left or right-hand doors, 90-degree turn, lipped or overlay construction, straight or straight cam, or that offset cam. All this information we've covered. If you want to read that, go right ahead. What I wanted to do here was to familiarize you with the layout of the catalog. And as we scroll through, we're going to find several and many variations on the cam lock principle and different ways in which they can be applied per application. I did want to scroll down and through and get to where you can see all of the different cams that are available as well. So be mindful, on page 23 of the catalog, lots of different cams. You don't have to settle for one or the other that comes with this. You can order a separate cam if you find that you have a requirement that puts you in a position of needing a different cam. Here they are. Okay. That D87, that part number was D8785. If we do a find function for that, we're going to get to the page where we can see that key, and okay, here we are. D8785, that's what your profile looks like. You can see they do different keyways as well. 8785, a 5-disc Tumbler passkey made of brass, 50 in a box. So we don't really get into defining what keyway the manufacturer is working with, but the key is stamped C346, so that's telling you it's a C keyway in a 346 blind code. Well, pardon me, indirect code is what it would be. 346A is a reference to how that key has been cut, but that's an indirect code. We don't know what the biddings are of the key itself based on that. We'd need a reference document to review. Service kits, if you were to want to learn how to be able to service these on your own, you certainly can do that. They do allow us to be able to repin this material. Okay. And that pretty much sums up the entire catalog. Very handy, very helpful document to have access to. Let's finish up this video on camera. In conclusion, the name Compx is synonymous with very good, very high-quality cam locks. Not only very high-quality cam locks, but the individuals at the factory are very, very helpful. They possess an absolute mastery over the subject matter when it comes to the material they manufacture and how it's applied. I have been able to successfully work with the factory on custom requirements. A client having a need for a specific thickness to be able to be keyed alike, to be able to be held on with a retaining clip and a nut as well, which in the retaining clip model would require the body itself to be sliced on either side so the spring clip can hold the body to the back of the door, very commonly seen in a mailbox door application. And the thickness of that material is going to dictate how far back they make that preparation. The one thing I didn't give you dimensionally was the thickness of the pads that would mount. So let me give you those thicknesses. The thinnest one is 0.066. The middle length is 0.128. The thickest is 0.188. So, 3/32, an eighth of an inch, 3/16 of an inch, something right in that range. Okay, a lot of people make cam locks. A lot of people, well, you can buy cam locks from a lot of different people. What you can't get from a lot of different people, but Compx isn't the only company. There's another I'm thinking of that's exceptional as well. But what you can get from Compx is exceptional technical support. It's not just they sell you a cam lock and, good luck to you. No, they support their product, and they do so very well. Any questions on the 8055 or any other Compx product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.